day right there.
All right, we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to UVA basketball on Locker Room Access. We've got Dougie Fresh on the other side of the Hudson in Jersey City. I'm Mark Jerome, and look at our man, the shark, looking like he's in a Louisiana, getting ready for a Louisiana big soiree.
Hey, it's like putting 10 pounds of ham in a 5-pound bag right now, but it looks okay on camera.
It looks better than okay. You look wonderful. You look smashing.
Tremendous.
Absolutely. Big night tonight, guys. We're playing really well, and now we've got Duke. This is the game that everybody, when they're recruited by UVA, puts on this. It's like when you guys got recruited by UVA. Who was it? Carolina?
Both. Duke and Carolina. Yeah.
Right? You got your parents come on the visit. You guys are on the visit, and you're all excited, about the facilities, the school, the grounds, the basketball team, and then you start thinking like, oh my goodness, I'm playing at University of Virginia, and I get to play against North Carolina, and I get to play against Duke.
Yeah, man.
And so,
big time.
Yeah,
it's really big time. Again, back then the conference was smaller, so it was kind of every game. Like, think about our days, Mark. Maryland. You're talking about I was watching the Len Bias thing just now, and then go to even Clemson, and then Florida State came every game. But Duke and Carolina, I think safe to say, hit differently.
100%. And here's how you know, as a player, and Mark, as a father of a player, you can sympathize with this. As a player, you get a lot of ticket requests whenever you play. I think we got 4 of them, right? So, like, if I was going somewhere where I had family, Fresh and TJ and whoever would give you tickets, the Duke-Carolina game, everybody sold out, and you get twice as many requests. It's the prom. That's why I'm dressed like this. Tonight is the prom for UVA basketball this year, home game. This is Ron's prom, and this is the players' prom. So let's get ready to dance, because it could be a good one. I have a good feeling.
It's
big deal.
It could be a good one. Dougie, do you have doubts? Do you think UVA's been playing really well the last couple of games, right?
Yeah, I'm upset that I missed the. I didn't watch any of the Virginia Tech game at Tech, where it sounds like we played really, really well most of the game, and then kind of had the lead shrunk. I will say, if we happen to get out to any sort of lead, or we have to protect it, if they get going, I'm going to use Hav as an example. We're playing them at Duke my last year, which we won the game. But there was a point in the game where it's Bobby Hurley, it's Grant Hill, whatever. They're coming at us, right? We're kind of up 4, 5, 7 the whole time. Here comes Duke. And Corey, we just lost Marky.
No, I'm here.
Corey Alexander was in foul troubles.
I'm here, Dougie. If you can let me in on my computer. I'm backstage on the computer. Okay.
Now you're here. And, the momentum shifts are drastic when you're playing Carolinas and Dukes, right? But Hav came in, and you know what he did? He was exceptional getting the ball, taking care of it, moving it around, staying in front of his man. They had like 3 fast breaks in a row, and the last one, Hav took a charge. I don't know if he meant to or not, but it was a charge, and it's a momentum stopper. Do we have guys that, these guys come at you fast? Do we have anybody that can come in off the bench, possibly? Just a momentum stopper. I think it's a Tane Murray role for tonight.
Doug, it's a really good point. It's a really good point. And by the way, did you let me in backstage on my computer?
No, you're in.
You're in. We can see you.
No, I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone, but I'm trying to get on my computer, and it says on computer I'm backstage.
Oh, I just see you. I see you wherever you are now. You got to log back into that one.
Hey, by the way, this is Fresh. Let me just shout Fresh out. Fresh is giving me a shout out for my 3 minutes at Duke where I took a charge, and he scored 16 in the second half. So, that's the night I remember, and I tell this story. I said, Fresh and I scored 16 against Duke that one game.
But you know my point. You came in, expected a player, didn't expect, but you made a difference 3 times in a row. And, of course, JJ rips you right out of the game. I'm not sure why there. but that's just what it is.
Dougie, don't get half started on that. Don't get half started, Dougie.
Power come in, make 2 shots. Can he do something great on defense on accident, even if it's not on purpose? You know, he doesn't have the experience that the third-year redshirt Chris Havlicek had, but that's what we need. Those little. It's not going to be the Ty Jerome fake a pass to the stands and make a 40-footer. That's not our team. But can the cumulative effort keep that, you know, Duke just going on a 20-0 run is what I'm making up in my head, probably. But
no, it's important, right? I watched UVA play Virginia Tech, and I watched Duke play Stanford, right? And on Saturday, and McNeely was absolutely outstanding.
Unreal.
Right? He was brilliant. He was brilliant. I thought that last one was going to go in 2, and I would have been blown away. And he, you know, he had a great game, and we pulled it out. And then I watched Duke, and it's just like you said, Doug. They went on this crazy run.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
and
tough.
Stanford couldn't answer, and they ended up winning by. It was like an easy 30. I mean, they were like toying with them.
Yeah.
I mean, Cooper Flagg is the real deal. The whole team is really good. They're really good at every position, and they got some bench guys that are really good. So, what do you have to UVA's recent success? Rhodey's having tremendous games recently, right? I think he's 34 assists to a couple of turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, I will be complimentary and then realistic. So we're definitely playing better. It appears we went back to blocker mover. Everybody on forum sees that. It kind of suits our team. There's a lot of controversy around Saunders, and if we're better when he's out, I don't think that's the case. But maybe when we run blocker mover, it's somewhat advantageous to have him play, you know, sparingly. The real reason we're playing well, and this is, you know, this is what it is. We've played some really bad teams lately. I mean, that's why we're winning. We have played. So our best win this year is probably at Pitt, and they're in a complete free fall. Either we broke them or they were broken. So we're not, it's not like we're beating up on the, let's be honest. We got 3 real teams in this conference right now. We have Duke, we have Clemson, and we have UNC, and all 3 are coming up.
I'm going to interrupt you there.
Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah, I forgot. It's hard to remember them, but you're right. And so, but I also think that as it relates to loosening the reins a little bit, Ron has done that. Not to the extent that you know, free-flowing offenses do it, but I think it was B Dragon who said it brought a tear to his eye when we flipped it back to a trailer on a fast break and we took a 3. Like, that would have never happened with Tony. We're more opportunistic, but I still, and I'm happy for the resurgence, but you know, we're playing against quad 3 and 4 teams right now. Tonight we've got a quad 1, and it's our prom. It's Ron's prom. I hope he doesn't have a zip up on. I hope he's in black tie, because if he wins this game, it will be a big feather in his cap. And if I was Ron Sanchez, if I was Ron, you know, I would not go out against Duke and say, we're going to do our normal stuff. I would say they are physically more talented than us. They are skill-wise more talented than us. We can't play them man-to-man. We have to do something different if we want to win. I personally would rather lose this game by 22 and try a whole bunch of stuff, whether it's trapping, zone, all that, versus lose by 9. Like, the people on forum were saying, like, you know, a 9-point victory would be a moral victory. I think you got to try to win this game if you're Ron Sanchez, and you have to do something differently, throw wrinkles at them, whether it's a zone, whether it's token pressure, half-court trap, something they haven't game planned for. because Duke's going to do the following, and then I'll shut up. They're going to spread us out like they always do. They're going to have Cooper Flagg and their guards take it in, create a collapse. That team shoots more open threes than anyone in the country. And we just can't match up with them man-to-man. So why not throw something different at them? The question for Ron is, are you going to honor Virginia basketball and do our pack line and, try to lose by 9 in the 50s? Or are you going to roll the dice and do something different and maybe small percentage, but maybe hope they shoot poorly and do something different? So that's my take.
Let me throw this at you.
Okay.
If you play Duke well, you have won 3 in a row, 4 out of their last 5, right? Or 4, up until Duke, right? You've won 4 out of your last 5. You beat Miami, you lose to Virginia Tech by 1. You beat Pitt, you beat Georgia Tech, you beat Virginia Tech on the road, right? And you beat Pitt at Pitt, and you kind of beat them good.
Yep.
If you play Duke well at home, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I'm presenting this question to you. Not for moral victory, but is it a momentum? Do you continue the momentum of saying we only lost to the number 2 team that's so freakishly talented by 9 points? Are you still rolling with the momentum, right? And 9 could be like a beat up 9, it could be a close 9. Right?
Yeah, that's true. 9 is different.
So that's the only question I'm raising to you. I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, moral. I agree with you. I'm not really into moral victories, but if you're continuing to play well, and they just beat up on you, and maybe saying, okay, we're still at that, we're still middle, we're still improving. We're still improving, right? We challenged Duke, who is has got, I don't know how many lottery players on the team, and I don't know that UVA has an NBA player. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm not sure. And you play with them, and it's still, we're getting to the end of the season, but we're still improving, right? So if you can play well against Carolina, Wake Forest, Clemson at home, Florida State at home, and Syracuse on the road, you got a chance if you feel like it's still a momentum builder because you play Duke fairly well.
Well, yeah, I think what Hab is really saying here, and I totally get both sides, he just means it's time to play basketball games to win, right? It's like we talk about Bethune-Cookman and whoever in the beginning. It looks like we're practicing to get better, right? Tonight's a big-time game, dude. It's not time to practice to get better, keep your momentum. I get it. In the back of the coaches' minds, do they really think we can win or not? I don't know. I think we can win. I think the difference in our team, you just said it, IMAC was brilliant. Day-Day's found his thing. He's doing different things. He's sprinting on a rebound and getting long outlets and things like that. Blake Buchanan's done a little bit differently. Anthony Robinson off the bench, which I hope he comes off the bench tonight, is really finding his own. I hope he doesn't fade away on the free throws. That's a technicality on my thing. Andrew Rohde's dropping dimes. Andrew's going to be the key because you have a Tyrese Proctor who's probably 6'6", and so is Rohde, and Rohde plays like he's 6'3", usually 6'2". I think he's going to be the key when he sees real horses, real athletes,
pressure,
and dudes who don't care about him. They're not impressed by his 25 assists and one turnover. They're going to go after him. And Hab has said it, and he's 100% right. Guys like that, opposing teams' eyes light up and they get excited about, right? They're gonna shade Isaac McNeely everywhere, right? He's beyond a known commodity at this point. So that's where I think the other guys, it's like a tame type of night. Man, can we get TJ Fowler? Eshawn possibly. Day-Day, because can Day-Day surprise him, be the tough kid, and he's been going through 2 or 3 people. It's going to be harder when they have 7-footers. I mean, it could be an Elijah Saunders night, right? Like Elijah's got a lot of the skill set. He just doesn't have the size. I don't know. What Hav wants to play to win, and so do I. I don't want to play to improve tonight.
I hear you.
I agree with Mark. I agree with what you're saying because first of all, there's different 9-point victories, right? There's the one where there's it's a 5-point game and they hit free throws at the end and we lose by 9. And then but let's just call it an even 9-point loss. I don't think that does anything for anybody. So if I was coaching this team, I'd start out in pack line for a little while, and then I would throw wrinkles. I would throw a zone against them. They haven't prepared for that. Like they're not playing, Jim Boeheim's Syracuse team. They're going to have to call a timeout and dial something up. You hope they get cold. That's how we got to win this game. We're not going to guard them man to man. If we do that, if we try to guard them man to man the whole game, we're going to lose by 22. They are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing
game here? You can't play a traditional game here. You can't play what you've been doing all year long. When you play teams that are 25 points better than you based on what's happened during the previous part of the season, Duke is 25 points better, right? You can't go into it head-to-head the way you've been playing. I completely agree. I was just presenting something.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Go ahead, Dougie.
I just think that Hav's making the point. That's a trap he does, and it's a comfort trap, right? Like, will the coaches do that? Hey guys, let's keep improving. No, it's not time to improve. This is a big time game. It's a this isn't a bad word, but it's a balls to the wall game, right? I will say, if we even attempt to hard hedge or not be extremely, extremely, extremely smart in doubling the post, we are going to get smoked. If we run the hard hedge, they're too skilled. You got a Cooper Flagg. I'm not sure. He might actually be born left-handed because he's the same with his hand. That's going to affect them zero. Outside of maybe Khan, Knipple, who should have come to Virginia. He didn't make a bad decision, doesn't appear. Maybe him. He's that lethal of a three-point shooter. But if you're going to have two or three of our big men way away from the basket, we are done from the get.
Yep.
This is a night where Ron, who is first of all, Ron's like a great guy. Everybody loves him. There's the guys that want to run it back with Ron, and I think that's because he's such a good guy. And people want to maybe end the speculation because it's like an unfinished check on their daily list. But tonight is the night for Ron to gamble, to say, you know what, Tony, I love you, but we're going to go away from Virginia basketball. And if we want to win this game, we have to do things differently. We've talked a lot on forum about adjustments and the willingness to take chances. Tonight is his night to do that. Because if we lose by 25 or 14, it doesn't really matter. I would take chances tonight. I would make them uncomfortable and hope they have a bad shooting night and try to win the game, because players, and Fresh knows this, and Mark, this, even when you're playing a team that is better than you, you don't think you're going to lose. They're all hyped up right now. They're excited. They think they can do it. And I'm holding on to hope that we roll out a little different game plan than we have in the past, and we're able to pull off a miracle.
Have you mentioned the word miracle, and it really could be. This team does not turn the ball over, right? They shoot 38% from three. They shoot 77% from the free throw line. They shoot 49% from the field. They don't turn the ball over. Cooper Flagg averages 2.5 turnovers a game. He handles the ball that much, and he's a phenomenal passer.
Yep.
Right? They rebound pretty well. They don't rebound great, but they rebound well. Right? Cooper Flagg averages 7.5. The big guy averages 6.66, just over 6. Right? And they've got other guy, Malik Brown, plays 20 minutes a game. By the way, they've got a lot of. We can also get into the whole NIL thing, right? I mean, they've got a lot of money on that roster. But you mentioned something earlier, right? You mentioned competition, basically, when you talked about that we've been playing well. UVA's been playing really good basketball, but the level of competition has not been great. And I remember coaching AAU guys when my kid was 7 years old and playing, an 8-year-old team with some of the parents, and the parents would call me up after every game, and we'd beat a team that wasn't very good, and they'd be like, "Oh, my kid played great, and we just won the game." I'm like, guys, consider the competition.
Yeah.
Consider it. Yep. Like, you're getting so excited as if we're the best team in the country when we played a bunch of bozos. And it happens so often, and I'm always so surprised that fans don't consider the competition when they're evaluating their teams. It's amazing.
I
I
think
can't get over
it's
it.
hard for fans, and it's hard for me, and probably hard for Fresh and you, Mark, to recognize that the ACC is not what it used to be. And that's the reality. They're arguably the worst Power 5 conference. We're looking at three teams in the NCAA, maybe 4. But you have a clear top 3 teams, a clear top 3. And we've beaten up on like the worst team in the ACC, the second worst, the 4th to worst, and then we split with, Tech. So I love the spirit, but there has to be some recognition that we have played the bottom. We're about to play the top, right? We've got Duke, we've got Carolina, we've got Clemson, we've got Florida State, and we've got Syracuse.
And Wake Forest, I believe.
And Wake.
Oh, and Wake.
Yeah. And Clemson. Did you say Clemson?
Yeah. I think it goes Duke, Carolina, Clemson, Wake, Florida State, Syracuse.
I'm not sure Carolina's that high up there. I don't know.
No, but I'm saying they're not that high, but
it's still
our next games, right?
Okay.
It's Duke, Carolina, Carolina, Wake, Clemson, Florida State, Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what I like about this team, man, and we're at least this part of the season, to your point, Mark, about winning, but how good are the teams, blah blah blah. At least the games have been in conference, right? And don't forget, I was front row seat at the Notre Dame game in Charlottesville, and that one scared me because that's one of the times I've looked. I'm like, did we really keep competing? I don't, I obviously was talking to people and doing my thing and up and down, but I watched. And I thought the wheels totally came off that night, meaning I looked for that Pittsburgh sort of spiral the other way, that these dudes have done some things, or the staff or whoever it is, and win some games, right? You get some wins, and it's important to feel what winning is like, right, Ab? When you have these tough games,
sure.
Winning, and it's an in-conference game. Look,
yep. It's a great point.
They kind of are all created equal in conference when you're trying to get an ACC tournament at this point and get a seed and that type. All ACC wins are created equal. Now it's, beating Duke or Carolina, of course, is always special, but it's kind of what it is at this point.
Yep. No.
We also go on the road, right, Mark? If you look at our schedule.
Yep.
Duke at home, Carolina away, Wake away, or Wake at home?
Wake is away.
Away. Florida State away.
Clemson home.
Clemson home, Florida State away, Syracuse away, right?
Florida State home, Syracuse away.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm wrong. But I'll say, you look at the Syracuse game, they're struggling. They're in free fall. Carrier Dome's weird. That's one where I say, oh my, that's a tough one. It's going to be, they'll probably get snowed in somewhere. There's going to be a flood and a tsunami and a hurricane based on what's going on right now on the weather. I will say, I really, really hope that we don't have Ron, Tony's going to be in the box. Don't do what we always do, because this team, it's the tallest team in the country. They're the number 1 team. They average 6'8", just a shade under 6'8", really long. They spread people out. They take more open threes than this is not the game to try to match up with them on the pack line and be really good, helping and recovering. This is a game to pack it in and hope they miss, I think.
Yeah, the pack line's not Tony Bennett style saving your life tonight. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But that magic doesn't happen.
Yeah. My man Dougie Workman out of LA, UVA alum, sent me some data on point guards.
Great name.
He talks about on Rhodey, where Rhodey stands this year. And when you look at the best assist to turnover ratio in the last several years, he sent me since 2016 when London had a 4.4 to 1.8 turnover assist to turnover ratio, which is 2.4, right? The best was Dougie's guy.
Reese
5.2 to
Reese?
1.4.
Oh yeah, Reese never turned it over. Annoyingly never turned it over.
Yeah. But I think, so Rhodey is right now at a 4.4 to 1.7. So he's got a positive, he's got a plus 2.59, which is just under Kihei's 2019 2.6 to 1.0.
Hey, he's played great. Maybe the biggest. I posted this on forum a couple of weeks ago in my sort of national apology to Rhodey, who's played well. He's done like maybe the biggest turnaround in UVA history from one year to the next. Because last year he was unplayable, but somehow played 28 minutes a game. This year, I think he's playing 32. He's playing a lot, and he's really, really good. I do scoff, and Mark, this is mainly because of our relationship, but some people are like, oh, he's Ty Jerome 2.0. And I said, all right, easy. Let's not overstate this. He's not Ty Jerome, but he's playing really well. I'm happy for the kid. And you know what I like? And I didn't, I've seen hints of this, but against Virginia Tech, I realized he hates Virginia Tech as much as I do. And he was chirping going into the tunnel. He's got a little bit of FU in him as it relates to specifically that program. And as a guy who came from, like, Rhodey didn't know about Virginia Tech growing up in, where was he, Milwaukee or Wisconsin or,
No, he was into the Minnesota, Ontario cross-country battle.
Right. So he didn't know about like me, I didn't know about that rivalry. I came here, immediately hated Tech. So I love what he's doing. I do think, and Fresh, you and I have talked about this, that where he has struggled mightily is when you get really athletic guys that pressure him. He's fine bringing it up against Virginia Tech and I'll say good teams, Division I players, but he's about to go against some NBA dudes who are about to make his life miserable. That's number one. And the second thing is Shire, who I know we hate on him, and I know he looks like a Muppet and he can fit a grapefruit in his mouth. That whole thing,
without trying,
which I'll get into at halftime, but Shire is going to make. Like when we played Alabama Fresh, we played Hollywood Robinson. We didn't let that guy. It was a face guard situation. Like you didn't worry about help response. They're going to make sure IMAC doesn't go off tonight.
Yeah.
And they're going to make it really hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely have. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, it's about to be tip off. Do we want to make quick predictions?
Yeah,
let's go.
Dougie?
You ready for this one?
I'm ready for it. I know what Haver's going to say.
82 to 78 Virginia overtime.
I don't hate it. I mean, I normally dry heave when you give your predictions, Fresh, because you're 1 for 700. But
not according to Marky. Come on, Marky. Who's right every time?
Every time.
Write it down, Facebook and Twitter, wherever we are. 82-78.
Don't write it down. Game. Just remember it, Dougie, just like I do.
That's right.
I'm gonna go just for balance. I'm gonna go the other way. I think Ron is going to stick to his principles because he's not a gambling man, and I think we're going to lose 76-58.
I wouldn't expect, if you would have said UVA, I would have been disappointed because that wouldn't have been you.
Well, I'm rooting. Even when I pick against us, I always root for us.
Of course.
But, yeah.
You're a realist.
Yeah. I just think this team is exceptionally talented at Duke, where they have like 8 NBA guys eventually. And
they're good.
Unless we do something really different, I think it'll be a long night.
I'm going to make this easy. I'm going to say 76 to 67. You see what I did there, Habs?
Yep, right in the middle.
No.
It's called like a palindrome or something, isn't it?
No. What's the total victory?
Oh, got it. 9. You gave me a 9er.
I gave you a 9. I gave you a 9. There you go. I had to do it. Thank you. I agree with you. Oh,
Nice.
Again, you know what? We'll discuss if it's a 9-point game, whether it was a good 9 or a bad 9.
That's right. Let's go, Who's. Let's fucking mix it up tonight.
Oh yeah, Hal?
Oh yeah.
Third swear ever. Third swear
right.
ever.
Yeah, did your 5th year, did you guys beat Duke after I left?
I can't remember.
It would have been Grant's. No, Grant.
Yeah, it was Harold. I think we beat him at home. I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll come back at halftime and give you an accurate answer.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Let's at least keep it
my
close.
Last 2 games we beat them, so that's all.
Let's at least keep it close going into the half, and who knows what happens in the second half.
Let's go. This place has got to be going off, right? It's got to be a good atmosphere. So.
Let's go, Who's. It's prom night, Ron. Step up. Dance on the floor. Let's get it done.
Prom night.
All right, everybody. We'll see you at the half. Thanks so much for joining us.